All right. In this video, we're going to talk about naming hydrates. And hydrates are basically certain ionic compounds that have waters loosely attached to the actual ionic crystal. Okay, so your repeating pattern of positive and negative ions would also have will also attract a certain number of H2Os or waters to it. Okay, and first thing you have to know about hydrates is the way we designate it with a dot. And this is a fairly popular hydrate. Okay, it's basically Epsom salts that some of us may have in our medicine cabinet. We have this magnesium sulfate, and then we have this dot. The dot designates it or shows that it's a hydrate. And then you have 7 waters, 7 H2Os. Okay, and we actually use the Greek prefix system. Okay, so you have to know all those: the mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta, octa, nona, deca. Okay, and 7 was hepta. Okay, so it's one of the easiest naming systems. It's magnesium. Sticking tablet here. Magnesium sulfate. Okay, that's magnesium sulfate. All right, it's not an overly difficult polyatomic ionic compound to name. And then you have to handle the hydrate end. And because it's 7, we say hepta hydrate. Okay, so we'll do 2 underlines for this portion. So my waters are indicated with it being a hydrate, and hepta indicating the number 7. Another version could be something like this. Having issues with my tablet here. Copper, stock name, copper 2, nitrate, penta, hydrate. All right. This was our chemical from our lab. Okay. The crucible-based lab. And what we have here is penta, meaning 5. Well, first of all, let's talk with what is very common. It's a throwback to polyatomic ionic naming. Copper 2 nitrate. Okay, a lot of us are proficient enough that we know that we can just write copper 2 nitrate like that. Okay, but if you're not, if you're still having to build up the formulas from its parts, there's nothing wrong with that. You would have to say the Roman numeral 2 is +2, NO3 is -1. In order to be neutral, in order to achieve neutrality, I'm going to have 2 nitrates for every 1 copper. Okay, so my final answer would be copper 2 nitrate like that. The pentahydrate, okay, it all goes back to, knowing what penta was. Penta is 5, and we show our hydrate with a dot. It's like a multiplication dot. 5 hydrate would be 5 waters. We'll start spelling hydrate for us. 5 waters. So it's one of the easier naming systems, and it's not one that we usually have much difficulty with. Okay, the only issue we can have with our hydrates is if we're not proficient with the other ionic naming systems. What I mean by that is the binary and polyatomic ions in the stock method. Okay, so if you didn't get the first types of ionic naming, you're not going to get hydrates. Now, the flip side is if you're very proficient with ionic naming, hydrates are completely easy.